Picture a life where every day feels like a celebration of wellness, comfort, and joy. At Antara, we redefine senior living, offering a sanctuary where luxury meets care, and every moment is designed to nurture happiness and peace of mind.
Welcome everyone to this unique podcast series started by Keller Williams Delhi NCR. Today it's a very special one. We have somebody very special with us today on the podcast. We have Mr. Sanjay Bhatia, who's the Director Community Living at Antara, right? And the good part is, I was just discussing with him prior to this podcast, and I just realized he has been with the Max Group since 2001. Is that correct?
That's right.
Wow. So he's about to celebrate Silver Jubilee with Max probably next year.
Next year.
Yeah. 2025 will be the Silver Jubilee that will be celebrating with Max. I mean, these days we get to hear these things, almost never, right?
It's kind of rarity.
It's kind of very rare that we hear that somebody has been with the group since so many years. But I'm sure Max is doing something right to hold somebody like you for that long, right? We'll talk more about Sanjay ji as we progress into the podcast. But today we're going to be throwing some light on a concept which is fairly relatively new to India, which is senior living, which is fine senior living, which is, if I can say, luxury senior living as well, right? We'll talk about this concept in detail, and I don't think we could have had a better person to talk about this on our podcast. Now, senior living is a concept which is very well accepted across the western parts of the world, especially when we talk about the US market. It's a very well understood, very well accepted concept. In India, it's fairly new, and I don't think we have too many serious companies engaging into this business, and we don't have too many players who are delivering quality senior living in India. And plus, I think even the concept needs more understanding as far as our audience is concerned, people at large are concerned, and the concept needs you need to throw some more light to let people know that why do they need this and what are the options available to them. So, first of all, Sanjay ji, maybe after a little bit of introduction about yourself, if you could throw a generic light on the senior living concept in India, how long this concept has been here in the country. Globally, of course, we know it's been there for donkey years. And what is the kind of acceptability we have in the Indian market for this concept?
Sure. Thank you, Sahil. First and foremost, thanks for having me on the show. I'll straight away jump into the senior living concept. You're very right. The concept is fairly new in this country, although in the Western world, in the world economies, this concept has been there for many years now. In India also, the southern part of the country has been, I would say, the front runner as far as senior living is concerned, at least 2 decades ahead of the north and west. But in the northern part of the country and the western part of the country, this is a fairly new concept. Antara, the company I represent, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Max India, came into being in 2011. We were always into various businesses associated with life. We were into life insurance, healthcare, health insurance, and so on and so forth. And senior living was a very logical extension to the social businesses we were into. Our understanding, or our value proposition to our clients is based upon a deep understanding of the needs of the clients. Before we sat on the drawing board, we did very extensive research, both within the country and outside the country, to understand the issues being faced by seniors, particularly the ones who were living independent of their children.
Correct.
The social fabric has been changing. The norms, societal norms, have been changing rapidly and dramatically. Nuclear families are the order of the day. Small families, children moving to different parts of the world for their professional assignments, leaving the seniors, empty nesters. We conducted a very thorough research in 6 different cities, large metropolitan cities of the country, to understand the issues. And the research did not throw any surprise. We already knew it, but it only got validated. The issues about um safety and security, the issue about social wellness, the issue about uh, the hassles of maintaining large homes. Uh, you know, आज मेड नहीं आई, आज ड्राइवर नहीं आया, today, the gardener is on leave.
घर घर की कहानी.
घर घर की कहानी. So seniors are facing all these issues. And then we conducted research outside the country. The senior leadership team, we visited more than 50 communities, senior living communities in US, UK, Australia, to really understand the fine nuances of this subject of senior living. Having done that, then we sat on the drawing board and crafted our value proposition for the clients, which essentially is a combination of lifestyle with life care to ensure that our residents continue living the life on their own terms. At that point in time, in 2011, there were various communities in different stages of operations. Some were under construction, some were already operational. But majority of these communities focused on the middle of the pyramid or below the middle of the pyramid. We consciously chose to focus on the top of the pyramid because there was absolute vacuum in that space. And people who were affluent, they also needed senior living. They also needed this concept of senior care where they could be taken care of. So to begin with, we focused on that segment of the society. Whenever we talk about senior living, people tend to confuse it with old age homes.
Absolutely, मैं यही बोलने वाला था.
And when you think of the old age homes, the image that comes to your mind is not a very happy picture.
Absolutely.
It's people. These old age homes were run by NGOs out of CSR funds, and did not offer the independence to curate their life to its residents.
एक image दिमाग में आती है that these are those people who are abandoned by their families.
Maybe yes.
एक दिमाग में एक image आती है.
Maybe yes. Where the kids are not there to take care
Correct.
of them or not willing to take care of them. But the senior living as of today is a very, very, very different concept. Senior living as a concept, as we see it, we see our residents living a very happy, healthy, active life in a very vibrant environment, and more importantly, where they have absolute independence to curate their lifestyle. You spoke about the fine senior living or the luxury senior living. The biggest luxury, to my mind, in the world is to have the opportunities to live life on your own terms.
Absolutely.
Which unfortunately, the senior living communities of the olden times did not offer. There were a lot of have-tos. Your children can't come, there are visiting hours, you have to have amenities and facilities from the service provider only. We changed that concept. We brought in absolute independence to our residents while they were living in a fully service environment, but having independence to live the kind of life they wanted to live. That is what we did. The second part of your question, that what's the need of senior living? Maybe I'll throw a bit of trivia at you. Today, the population of seniors in this country is more than the population of Japan. We have nearly 16 crore seniors in the country, and this cohort is growing almost 3 times the population growth rate of this country.
And when you say seniors, आप बात कर रहे हैं 60 साल से ऊपर के लोगों की. Correct? 60 and above.
60.
Correct.
However, our offering is for the people, above the age of 55.
Yeah,
So
you should plan it a little
they are
early is what I feel.
They are at the prime of their decision-making capabilities.
Absolutely.
They are financially independent.
Correct.
And they can take a decision in a direction towards their retirement planning. Retirement planning is not only about the financial planning. It's also about where would you want to live? in whose company you would want to live.
Most important.
That's very important. So for us, the senior living begins at 55, and by the time residents start moving in, they would be closer to the age of their retirement. Although in the urban senior living, we see our residents spending many more years engaged in their professional assignments. They usually take few more years, 65, 67, to hang their professional boots and gloves. However, they can have best of both the worlds. While being professionally engaged, they can still enjoy life in a fully serviced environment where all their needs, whether it's lifestyle need or the life care needs, are taken care of. And our biggest competition, so as to say, is their own homes.
Correct.
In the in the past, when the family sizes were large, people were living in joint families. There were family members to take care of the responsibility of the elders. I mean, nothing better than that.
Correct.
But since the social fabric is changing, today, in the metropolitan cities, a neighbor does not know, who is living in their neighborhood. But earlier, this camaraderie was there. So that's why we want to bring this concept of community living once again back, where people can forge relationships with their neighbors. They live in the company of like-minded people, and they enjoy their life. They live a very beautiful, vibrant life. That is what our endeavor is.
Your, in fact, first answer has led me to almost 5-6 questions now.
Please.
See, I think 20 years back, frankly, growing up in a small town like Amritsar, मैंने तो senior living का concept कभी सुना भी नहीं था. Forget about 20 years, I'll have to accept it. Being in real estate for the last 15 years, I was exposed to senior living concept in India only in the last 1.5, 2 years. Right? Before that, I had no idea. हाँ, सिर्फ English web series में, movies में, Hollywood में कभी senior living देख लिया. Because India की Bollywood movies में तो हमें old age home ही दिखते हैं, which, as you rightly pointed out, they show very sad picture, not a very happy picture.
Very sad image.
You used the word lifestyle. I think that appealed to me a lot, because we talk about lifestyle till we are 45, 50, 55, and all of a sudden, as soon as we are in the age bracket of, let's say, 58, 60 and above, we don't talk about lifestyle at all. So how do you help people maintain the lifestyle even after they're 60? And you spoke about the fact that you are literally trying to cater to a population which is a little bit maybe the top bracket. People are catering to the lower bracket. People are catering to a middle bracket.
Who are well-read, well-educated, well-traveled,
Correct.
who have a bit of affluency. We have been catering to them at this point in time.
Right. But do you feel that awareness about the availability of senior living is required? Because I feel a lot of people, we are in this trade, right? We have been fortunate to having met companies like yours, Antara, and we are exposed to the concept of senior living. And we are living in cosmopolitan towns like Gurgaon and Bangalore and Bombay. We still know this. But considering, I come from Punjab, and I know a lot of aged parents over there. They have their children back in the US or Canada or UK or Australia, and they're struggling to make ends meet, not financially, but otherwise, right? Maybe they have the money, right? But they're dependent on domestic help throughout. Domestic help है तो उनकी life normal है. Domestic help नहीं है तो उनकी life normal नहीं है. आज ड्राइवर आ गया तो they can commute, आज ड्राइवर नहीं आया तो they can not commute.
Very true.
आज कुक आ गया तो खाना ढंग से मिल जाएगा, कुक नहीं आया तो खाना ढंग से नहीं मिलेगा. मतलब their entire life is dependent on a couple of helps that they have. There is no outsourcing of this entire array of facilities that they need, and the ecosystem what they need. And it is not just about, I guess, meals or medical support or basic care.
No.
It's about community as well.
It definitely goes much beyond that.
Yeah.
I'll just share a small data point with you. So there is international research done in UK, which states that people who live in communities, their lifespan goes up by 6.5 to 7 years.
Wow.
So we not only add years to the life, we also add life to the years.
Yeah, we are a social animal. We need people.
We need the social wellness is a
Yeah.
very critical element of our entire offering. In fact, the entire holistic wellness, that we offer to our residents comprises of physical wellness, social wellness, intellectual wellness, cognitive wellness, environmental wellness, spiritual wellness. So these are the pillars of wellness around which our entire value proposition is centered. And we see our residents living a very healthy, active life across
Correct.
all these pillars of wellness. Not only the lifestyle, you said that lifestyle is considered up to a certain age. Gone are the days. Or we say that 60ness is a happiness. The kind of life you have been living so far, you should be offered the opportunities to live a similar life in your golden years.
Absolutely.
That is the key. And the second part of your question, how do we do that?
Correct.
Talking about that, it's not only about the lifestyle, but more importantly, it's about how you make them feel relevant.
Correct.
How you offer them a life full of dignity, how you can offer them opportunities where they can pursue and engage in the passions they always wanted to follow, but they could not find time because they were so busy taking care of their responsibilities towards their family, towards their business. And now is the time when they need to focus on themselves. And we offer them all these opportunities. Just to give you an example, our Dehradun community, which is already operational since 2017, and we have nearly 180 families, who are living there, and each one of them come with very elevated background. Many of them have been CEOs and CXOs of large multinational banks, international organizations, ambassadors, very senior bureaucrats. So they all come with very elevated background, and we offer them enough and more opportunities to live a very active lifestyle. As an anecdote, some of them, learned Sanskrit last year, and now Spanish is on their agenda. They are finding that they always wanted to be a good dancer, but they would never find the time, or they never got the opportunity. Now we have many dancers, we have many musicians, we have many script writers, so much so that they have done plays in Sanskrit. The point I'm trying to make is the kind of life they're living is so full of fun, is so full of happiness. It keeps them actively engaged. We have a very busy calendar of curated engagement activities and programs to ensure that they not only remain physically fit or physically active, rather cognitively, mentally, they stay alert. They pursue the hobbies and passions on every single day basis. That's the kind of life today's senior living has to offer to the residents.
Wonderful. In fact, coming from Punjab, I know there are so many people who have their children living abroad. I think the same is the case with states like Gujarat, same with the states like Telangana, Hyderabad, Kerala. People have to, you rightly said, the social fabric has changed, right? People have to move abroad, people have to move to bigger cities, and unfortunately, leave their parents back home in the cities where they belong. But if there are facilities, services like Antara Senior Care that they are aware about, frankly, somebody like me who is in US and my parents are back home in India, I would be very relaxed, right? I would be less bothered, I would be less concerned, and I would not spend time worrying about my parents all the time, and they would have a better life.
I'll give you a real life example, and this example I have gone through many a times during my interactions with the caregivers. Caregivers means the children who are abroad. The biggest anxiety, they live with is a phone call coming at the odd hour.
Absolutely.
They tell us that, in case there is a phone call which comes in the dead of the night, wherever they are staying, and if the name is mom or dad, so their anxiety levels, they go up.
Correct.
The first worry is, oh God, I hope everything is fine.
Correct.
Once the parents are in a senior care facility, whether Antara or any good senior care facility, at least that anxiety goes away.
Absolutely.
Because they know that their parents are staying in the company of like-minded people.
They're very well taken care of.
They are well taken care of. The primary healthcare for them, emergency response system for
Correct.
them is available 24/7.
Correct.
So that gives them a huge amount of comfort, and in a way that also takes away the guilt.
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sir, एक सवाल दिमाग में आया था. If a family wants to move into one of the facilities of Antara, but I don't want to have a domestic help in my house, can my basic needs be taken care of? Who will clean my house? Who will cook the meals for me? Will there be a driver to assist me? I might have a car which I drive, but I don't want to have a permanent driver. So, इस तरीके की कौन-कौन सी facilities अंतारा में available है?
Sahil, I want to assure you, I have repeated it 2-3 times that we have a very comprehensive service offering for our residents. So a family that wants to move in there without having a domestic staff can live their life very happily and beautifully. We have all the services that you mentioned, on the menu, and residents can pick and choose these services on pay-per-use basis. Services like, to begin with, say, meal. So in our restaurants, in our dining spaces, we have a la carte menus, as well as we have a specially curated menu for the seniors, which we call Ghar Ka Khana. So a person can enjoy, both the meals 7 days in a week in the restaurant without feeling that he or she is eating out, because this Ghar Ka Khana is curated, keeping the needs of the seniors and their allergies in mind. So low on oil, low on spices, low on salt, and it is not pre-cooked meals. The meals are cooked as per the needs of the residents, keeping their specific allergies or their nutritional needs in mind. Likewise, we have a very comprehensive housekeeping offering. A resident can choose, the whole month package, or maybe a weekly package, or maybe on hourly basis. So during Diwali time, you just need to have a deep cleaning. So you hire housekeeping services for 2 hours and get the house deep cleaned, or you may have a daily housekeeping service where Antara team member visits and does a very comprehensive housekeeping, which includes mopping, dusting, dishwashing, making up the bed, cleaning refrigerator, cleaning the fans, windows, and so on and so forth, and turning up services in the evening. You can avail of these services. Likewise, we have a pool of drivers, and then we have the concierge services for any kind of need. You want to send flowers to your daughter in US, you may find it full of hassles or cumbersome, but you just pick up the phone and tell the concierge, and it will be taken care of. Your travel bookings, your banking needs, you want to withdraw cash from the ATM, all these services are available.
This is such a relief.
Maybe you're not well and you want someone to come and read newspaper to you. Even these services are available.
Wow. You've left no stone unturned. In fact, I guess these are real life problems which we might not realize at this age. But the other day, we had to go for a wedding, and my wife's Masi was coming from South Delhi. So we had to go to Tagore Park, and she booked Tagore Garden instead. She did a different location altogether. So even a small thing like booking a cab is sometimes a big challenge for somebody who's a senior.
Yes.
No offense to Zomato and Swiggy, but Ghar Ka Khana is what they need, which is taking care of their allergies, taking care of their nutritional requirements, taking care of all the, I guess, kind of doctors' prescriptions based on their particular illnesses as well. Because after a certain age, you tend to have less oily food, you tend to avoid eating heavy meals, right? And if that facility is available, you know what, half the tension of the day is taken care of. Because I think in the northern part of the country, हमारे पंजाबी घरों में आधी टेंशन तो यही होती है कि सुबह क्या बनना है, दोपहर को क्या बनना है, रात को क्या बनना है. If that is being taken care of, that literally is a sigh of relief for a lot of
going
people.
to the extent of you want to throw a party at home, or you have your children visiting you,
Of course.
and you want to throw a party at home. So you hire a sous chef from Antara, and the chef will come and prepare meals in your own kitchen, and there would be serving staff and commis to take care of the party and after party.
Yeah, why do young people have all the fun? I mean, at that age, you can have all the fun. You can have your wine and cheese evenings.
Absolutely.
You can have your lunches. You can have your dinners planned with your friends and family. And that's also taken care of. People will have to move abroad. People will have to move to bigger cities. That can't stop. But what can be done is to provide a better life. I would say a better lifestyle to the parents over here. To provide them a community which keeps them engaged, which keeps them healthy, and there are enough and more structured ways to take care of them.
Absolutely.
Rather than probably investing on unorganized domestic help,
Absolutely.
right? Unorganized domestic senior care people. I invest in an organized senior living concept. In fact, I guess a lot of awareness needs to be created. We have, I guess, such a large population of people who might have the money, might have the means, might have the funds to do this, but they might not even be aware that, you know what, concepts like these are actually available. In fact, being in real estate, if I was exposed to this a couple of years back, I'm sure there are people who don't know this. I've traveled to the States so many times.
Thank you that through this podcast,
Yeah.
at least this awareness will spread. People who would be watching this podcast will be aware that there are the kind of facilities.
No, in fact, I'll be
or the
requesting it to
facilities
people who are
available in
watching
the
this, to share it with the right people who need this, who need to know that, you know what, your parents back home in India can be taken care of. There are facilities available right now in Dehradun, in Noida, and probably in future in Gurgaon as well. I mean, I'll probably ask about other cities in which Antara is planning to provide senior care facilities. If somebody right now who's watching this podcast immediately clicks his mind that, you know what, my aunt need this, my mom dad need this, my parents need this, where can they actually access Antara senior care facilities? Which all
Sure.
cities are we operational in?
Sure. So Antara journey began in 2013 when we launched our Dehradun community. It became operational in 2017. Consciously, we took 6-7 years to launch our next community. We wanted to see that how the operations go by. We made certain promises to our residents, and we wanted to be absolutely sure that all the promises that we made to our residents are actually delivered on ground. And once we built those capabilities, we launched our next community in Noida in 2020, just before the onset of COVID, where we had 340 apartments. It took us almost 2.5 years to, pre-book the Noida community. In next couple of months, this community is going to be operational. We are very close to applying for the OC, and we see our residents start moving in the first quarter of next calendar year.
So this will be the first one in the Delhi NCR region,
In the Delhi
correct?
NCR,
Okay.
outside.
And it'll be up and running in the next 6 months.
Definitely much before 6 months.
Okay.
Couple of months back, we launched our next initiative in Gurgaon. So our Gurgaon initiative was the first of its kind in many ways. It's an intergenerational community where on a large piece of land there are certain apartments or certain residential clusters which are meant for non-seniors, and certain clusters which are meant for the seniors. However, offering them the exclusive spaces, their exclusivity, and offering all the amenities and facilities which we have been offering so far in our existing communities. The idea is, they can live in a community, where they can interact with younger people. Although the pure play senior care is also a need of the hour, but we also heard that in a way, old people living in the company of older people was a bit of kind of area where they wanted us to look at. So this is our initiative in that direction. Response has been really good. In about 2 months' time, more than 80% of the apartments have been pre-booked, and we are left with nearly 20 odd percent apartments. This community will be operational in 5 years from now. So people who are today in the age bracket of say 50, 52, or even 55 can plan to be part of this community so that by the time they are 55, 56, they can start enjoying their life in the community.
Wonderful. So now we have an exclusive senior living community in Noida, and then we have a hybrid senior living community which is coming up in Gurgaon.
In Gurgaon.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
So this transition from an exclusive senior living community to a hybrid senior living community, was that kind of the demand? People were asking this, or was it why this business decision was made?
It was a deliberate decision.
Okay.
It was a very conscious decision to experiment with the intergenerational community where we heard this emotion from few of our residents that they needed more opportunities to interact with younger people, which keeps
Absolutely.
them mentally alert. And
My parents are happiest when they're around their grandchild. When they're with my son, they're the happiest. I've never seen them happier with me, but they're the happiest with him.
Nothing better than that,
Right.
I would say. So this is a conscious effort. Answering your previous question, the next few geographies which are on the radar for Antara. So we are seriously pursuing opportunities in the Chandigarh region,
Right.
and in South. So Antara is already present in South. We have created an ecosystem of senior care where the residences for senior is the one arm, and then taking care of the seniors in their assisted living or offering them equipment and medical goods for their specific needs through our Age Easy brand. So we already have our operations in Bangalore and Chennai, where we have created the senior care homes for short-term and long-term stay for the seniors.
So that is senior care minus the brick and mortar.
That is, of course, a brick and mortar, but not the ownership model.
Okay.
It's basically, just to give you an example, someone went through, say, a hip replacement surgery.
Okay.
And post-surgery, maintaining the patient at home is very difficult.
Absolutely.
Because you require a full gamut of nursing care.
Correct.
So that is where Antara steps in, and we have these care homes where a person can check in for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, and enjoy 24/7 assistance, nursing care, and assistance in day-to-day activities.
Wonderful. So it's a hybrid hospital come hotel.
It's care home. It's a
care home.
It's once again a hybrid.
That's again a very good concept, because I guess after a certain age you tend to go through surgeries, right? And taking care of somebody who has gone through a serious surgery for a month or two, it is practically not possible to stay with them 24/7, right? So when these facilities are available, I mean, again, the need of the hour.
We already have our presence down south
Right.
in Bangalore and Chennai. So obviously, these cities are going to be a natural choice for residences for senior also in due course of time.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So we are actively looking for the right piece of land,
Right.
Where these communities can be created.
Fair enough. Now at Antara, if let's say we have to list down 5 or let's say 7 or 10 things that are given as a part of the package, like somebody who's kind of listening to this podcast, if you have to tell them, you know what, at Antara, these are the things that we take care of for you. You don't need to be bothered about these things. What are these 5, 7 or 10 things that at Antara is completely taken care of?
Actually, Sahil, 5, 7, 8, 10 things won't be able to do justice to Antara offering.
Wonderful.
But I will sum it up by saying that right from the designing of the apartment to the designing of community, and then the entire service offering that we have for our residents ensures that they live a very safe, secured, healthy, active life. So say for example, if we talk about the apartments and the community, although these guidelines are not applicable to the country, but we have taken enough care to ensure that our apartments and communities are in conformity with American with Disability Act guidelines, which essentially means that a person on a wheelchair can access each and every nook and corner of the community, each and every nook and corner of the apartment without any assistance.
Without any assistance also.
Without any assistance.
Wow.
So which means you have the barrier-free movement, anti-skid tiles in the apartments, chamfered edges on the walls, panic alarm switches in the apartments, the ambient downlighting, which minimizes the chances of the fall, and so on and so forth. As I said, there's a whole science behind senior living. When we designed our first community in Dehradun, we partnered with the best-in-class subject matter experts from US, who brought that expertise to us, and we are now applying this expertise in our next set of communities to make these apartments safe, secured for our residents. As far as service offering is concerned, as I said a few minutes back, our entire service offering is centered around two pillars of lifestyle with life care. So on the lifestyle side, our resident, they get access to a large, fully functional day-long club where we have amenities like indoor heated swimming pool, senior-friendly gym, dining and cuisine spaces.
Senior-friendly gym.
Senior-friendly gym.
Wonderful.
Cuisine spaces, dining areas, restaurants, cafe, bar in Dehradun, theater, so these are the elements in the club: card room, bridge room, library, reading room. So all these amenities are made available to seniors to ensure that they spend a large part of their day in the club in the company of like-minded people, so that they remain socially active and they remain cognitively active. On the life care side, we offer them consultations with the doctor. So our resident doctor is available in the community 24/7.
Okay, 24/7.
24/7. The primary healthcare needs of the residents are taken care of in the community itself, and then there is the complete emergency response system. Each and every person in the community, people who are serving them, are well trained in that direction to take care of the emergencies. And God forbid, for any kind of emergency, as per our SOPs, the medical help reaches them in 5 to 6 minutes time.
Wow.
The condition of the resident is stabilized in the community, and then the resident is shifted to the hospital of their choice in a fully equipped ambulance, which is stationed in the community 24/7. So largely, their life care needs are taken care of. To ensure that their needs beyond the lifestyle needs which I mentioned, we also have a very busy calendar of activities to keep them mentally stimulated, to keep them engaged. All our residents come with a whole life worth of experience with them.
So not just physical wellness, even the mental wellness is being taken care of.
As I said, there are different pillars of wellness which we actively pursue. So the activities, like as I mentioned, the hobby classes, focus group discussions, conferences, seminars, plays, and so on and so forth, keep them busy and active throughout the day.
Wonderful. This looks like a long holiday. After kind of retiring your life, you have everything to kind of enjoy with like-minded people surrounded in the community. In fact, one thing that you mentioned, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think most of the casualties happen because of things like fall. And your apartment design kind of takes care of that completely. And then I guess one of the biggest reasons for casualties is non-availability of immediate medical care
in
and
that
immediate
golden
medical
hour,
assistance.
in that golden hour.
In that golden hour. That's most important. And when you mention 5 to 6 minutes, I don't think that's available anywhere in the country. I mean, even in the nearest hospital, if I'm right next to hospital also, I will take 20-25 minutes to get that immediate medical care assistance.
Yeah, you're right.
And a lot can change in that time duration.
Cosmopolitan cities, even if you say that the finest of healthcare is available 10, 15, 20 minutes away, but because of traffic conditions, for the ambulance to reach the patient, it takes more than 40-45 minutes.
Absolutely.
So we have been, I'm not boasting about it, but I'm just stating a fact that over last 6-7 years since the time our Dehradun community has become operational, we have gone through certain episodes of emergency, and very, very glad and very, all thanks to the Almighty, we have been able to save many lives.
Wow.
Because the medical help was available to them in 5, 6, 7 minutes time.
No, I mean, frankly, listening to this, I get a little goosebumps when you say you're helping, saving lives.
A financial value either to or 6 or 7 years of life which is extended or a life which is saved. You can't attach any financial value to that.
Absolutely.
And God be thanked that that we were given this opportunity to serve our seniors. In fact, I tell my team members, I tell my residents, God gave me one set of parents, but I have today more than 200 set of parents.
Wow.
Where we are able to take care of them.
And probably 2000 in the years to come.
From your lips to God's ears.
Right. This is amazing. I guess this was much needed. First of all, the awareness that senior living is available in India, and most importantly, quality senior living is available in the country. I don't think money is a problem with a lot of people, right? They can invest the right amount of money which is needed in quality senior living. But the only thing which I think we had dearth of was brands like Antara, which are providing that quality senior living like a holistic package, from managing the physical wellness to the mental wellness to the lifestyle needs of somebody who's grown up, somebody who's kind of retired, somebody who has children staying abroad, somebody who doesn't have anybody right now in terms of relatives to take care of. I think that's a sigh of relief. I right now can think of so many people in my own immediate family who probably need this. That's why I specifically asked that where are our newer senior living facilities coming in, and as you rightly said, one is about to be delivered in Noida. So that means the entire Delhi NCR region or the entire North Indian region can have an easy access to this, right? Dehradun is already operational. Gurgaon, you've already started, and I guess the timeline is around 4.5 years from now when that facility will be ready.
4.5 to 5 years.
And I guess, as he rightly pointed out, the time to make a decision to invest into a senior living is not when you are 65 or 70. The time is when you are around 55, 56, when you have that decision making power.
Absolutely right.
And the financial control also is available in your own hands. Is that correct?
Sahil, since you mentioned about the finance, once again I would want to share a data point. I read it somewhere. I need to verify it once again. In US, over last 25 years, the senior living real estate has appreciated by more than 2% more than the normal real estate.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And it's since it's a function of demand and supply, we spoke about the way this senior cohort is growing in this country. By the year 2030, we'll have 19 crore seniors. By the year 2050, nearly 20% of the population of this country would be senior. But on the supply side, and that too, the quality supply is very, very limited. While today, as per a recent report which came up by an international agency, since the report is yet to be published, so I won't name it. There is a demand for nearly 15 lakh senior living units in the country, whereas the availability is less than 20,000.
Wow, out of that huge gap.
Out of that 20,000, if we talk about the quality senior living, the kind of senior living which Antara presents to its residents, is very, very limited. So even if you look at financially, it makes a sound financial prudence to make investment today.
Absolutely. And especially when you spoke about the hybrid concept, which is there in Gurgaon right now, I think that's the need of the hour. I mean, I can have all the facilities of the senior living. At the same time, I can have a community of younger people as well. I can have the community of the young generation as well that I can intermingle with. I mean, that again helps me and doesn't make me feel that, you know what, I am isolated from the entire community.
Today's senior, and particularly the ones who are progressive, with progressive mindset, who are well read and well traveled, they are fiercely independent. They don't want to be dependent upon their children.
Absolutely.
At the same time, they don't want their children to be dependent upon them.
Absolutely.
So this intergenerational concept that we have launched, we have seen many examples where the families have booked 2 apartments. Seniors have booked their apartment in the senior living part of the community, and the younger folks have booked in the other part, so that they live in the same community.
Absolutely.
However, offering exclusive spaces to their parents where their senior specific needs are taken care of by Antara.
और जैसे हम पंजाबी में बोलते हैं ना, प्यार भी बना रहता है.
प्यार बना रहा है, of course.
घर में लड़ाई झगड़े का होते हैं, प्यार भी बना रहता है.
यही हमारी दुआ है.
Absolutely. In fact, I remember when we were working on the project that you have in Gurgaon, there are a set of our investors slash customers who are a group of 4 friends, and you won't believe all 4 of them, they've invested in Antara. They're right now not even 60. They're in the age bracket of 55, 60. But they're already planning their future. That, you know what, once we are 60 plus, this is the area that a group of these friends with their respective spouses would want to spend the rest of their lives. So people are already planning in advance. And I love that concept that, you know what, यहाँ पे बिल्कुल हम ये प्लानिंग ना वो स्कूल कॉलेजेस में करते हैं. That we will probably work together, shift to a same city and live close by. But somebody at the age bracket of 55, 60 planning their retirement life together, that's such a lovely concept.
We have seen many such examples.
Yes.
In Dehradun, in Noida, and in Gurgaon. People want to build their communities within a community.
Correct.
And we have seen many such examples where one person moved in or one person booked an apartment, and then 3, 4, 5 of his friends or family members, they also booked the apartments with the thought that they would want to spend these years together. Very, very prevalent concept.
Absolutely. I guess this is going to be an eye opener to a lot of my friends, especially who are NRIs, who are there in Canada, US, UK, Australia, who have their parents back home in the country. This will be a sigh of relief that we can have a real estate investment for them, which is not just a financial investment, but something which can take care of my parents, take care of their mental well-being, take care of their physical well-being, take care of their emergency medical needs or assistance that they might need, and most importantly, take care of the community that they would want to be part of. So we would be happy to, in fact, talk more in detail about the options that we have with Antara in Gurgaon, in Noida, and the cities that Antara is going to be coming in. And this was really, really, really helpful. I don't want to make this too long, but I guess one-to-one we'll have interactions with people, and we'll start creating webinars to create more awareness about availability of a fine senior living in India right now. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Before we sign off, the listeners who would be watching this podcast, I'll encourage them to ask more and more questions.
Correct.
And if you collate those questions and share with us, we'll be very happy to address these queries.
Absolutely. I guess we might have questions about the costing, the charges which are associated with all these facilities which are given at Antara. But yes, we might do a round 2 of this discussion once we have all these questions from all our listeners. So we'll do a round 2 of this discussion.
I'll be very happy to do that.
Pleasure, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in and throwing this light. I guess this was much needed. We are talking about everything and anything on podcast these days, but this is something which is important to every individual who has parents staying in a different city, who have parents staying in a different country. And as you rightly said, you know what, through this, we might be able to save some lives as well. That's
God willing.
most
God willing.
important.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
So much.
It is a pleasure to have you,
Thank you.
and we will continue to kind of create more awareness on this concept again and again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.